let's go.
So what you have here is a piece of equipment which is absolutely state-of-the-art for the 1730s. This is the equivalent of walking into someone's modern kitchen and they've got the highest end induction range. This is a coal roasting range, not a wood one, so you can tell that's got a very narrow basket. Better than just being coal, which is more efficient and hotter, it has movable cheeks. So if you can see that ratchet system there, that's a key. The key sadly is missing. Big key, like a starting handle for an old car. When you crank that, this piece of metal here moves inwards or outwards. Same with that one, it's got another crank on the other side. So if there aren't many people here, you can have a small fire. And if you've got cooking for a lot, you can move it up, so you can actually set the fire width to what you want.
Wow.
You fill it with coal, that will burn enough. And you get a draw through the room. So it's actually sucking really hard. And if you stick your head up the chimney, you'll see that the sucking motion of the air turns that fan round. That fan drives the gearing you can see on the front of the wall.
Okay.
Which drives these blocks and chains and turns the spits for you. The hotter your fire, the faster they turn.
I guess it's better than the little dogs that they used to have for like in the toast.
It's a completely efficient working system. You have your spits on the wall now, the spit racks. The spits were all missing, but the hanging racks were all still here. We just had to have some new spits put in.
Okay. Wow. So would this have been the original height?
Yes. Yeah. Kitchens are double height to keep it cool down here. So your working environment with all these windows open that's the air conditioning. The wind blows in one side out the other, sucks the warm air out, so it's always a good working environment down here.
What is this made of then?
That's a lime wash, lime, and then painted.
So is that just brick like that behind it?
It's then got a plaster coat over it.
Like that. Okay.
And then paint.
So brick has never really stopped being a great.
It's a good thing to use. The Romans used bricks. The Georgians used bricks.
We saw some great brick breweries from the
There was a clock up there, so you can tell what time it is. And then if you don't want to do roasting, you've got a whole nother suite over here. You've got something which we don't see very often. This is written about, but very few of them survive. That's called a raised hearth. So you've got a fireplace, but why light the fire on the floor? So you have to bend down all the time. Build a brick unit in there, light your fire in the corner here, bring all your embers along here and do your frying and grilling at waist height. But these just don't survive because what happens in 100 years is they put an iron range in there, so these get destroyed. So it's the only one I know of these.
Wow. What's it called again?
A raised hearth. So instead of bending down, you cook there. That one's an ash pit and that one's a fuel pit. Okay. So you've got yourself a charcoal stove there.
Wow.
These are the ones I've been using just lately. In fact, my ash bucket's still there. I haven't moved my ash bucket yet. These have been cooking last week, as you can see.
So you put ash?
Charcoal here, you put the charcoal in, just like a barbecue grill. Because it has an ash flue, you've got a cool air draft, so it burns really.
So where would they have gotten some of these ideas for this? Because like my father had a Japanese hibachi, which the Japanese have been using for many years.
If you found a Roman from Pompeii and brought him to this kitchen, which is only 200 years old, they'd recognise it. It was a technology that the Romans had already worked out, charcoal stoves for cooking on. If you then took that same Roman over to that roasting range, you'd blow his mind. He's never seen anything quite so modern. But what happens to these have only got, when was this built? This was built in the 1730s. They've only got just over 100 years to go. So they've had 2,000 years of history. And then the casting of iron changes all this. The next thing you would do with that is put a cast iron sheet on top, because it makes for a better surface.
Right.
That sheet
even heating
gets warm, you've got simmering areas, and slowly from cast iron on top, you start to build an iron range.
And the stove.
And the stove starts to be born. It's a long talk. I give it, I can't really show you.
I would love for you to come on my show someday.
I can talk about whiskey making. If you turn up down there, we can do a whiskey making.
We should, because we do spirit, cider, beer.
Yeah, so if you are going to be around in November, come down, talk to Steve, do a podcast. It's very nice here. I'm a lucky little man.
These are the original. The original, like that.
Yeah, that was still there. We just had to repair it slightly. That one got moved.
Phenomenal.
This
Oh.
is a nice little kitchen gadget. Do they like their gadgets? It takes the end of a spit, the round end, pop it in there, and it means one person can slide meat on a spit because that end's being held for you. This is another good kitchen gadget. Two little steel lined holes in the floor, which we have not. Obviously, really, really clever.
Maybe there was a wheel thing that.
I don't know. No, just do not know.
It's
yet.
possible.
It's something. It's clever.
There was a reason for it. Oh, look at this.
Nice little oven, that one.
Oh man.
You really need another oven in here because you have the bake room. But this is probably for fancier dishes, for doing little tarts or pies, or just as likely, considering it's next to the hatch, you warm your dishes in there.
Right.
It's a very small oven.
Or kept the meal
Or
warm
more
for the
than
next
probably
thing.
just warming up all the
plates, serving plates.
plates and dishes. One thing I am missing is here. Probably, this is a guess. I'm guessing here, I'm just working on what I think they need. It looks as if there was a large hood here. Yeah. So up top, and there's a bricked up flue there, so the steam that went up into that hood goes up into the chimney. I have a feeling there was a big bain-marie here, so a large...
Oh, right, I was going to say, were they doing steam?
Lot of... No,
Yeah.
the bain-marie keeps all your sauces and your fondue
Right,
cuisine
okay,
ready.
right.
Some of the guys will spend their entire times making the rich sauces and glazes and bechamels, and they'd be kept hot in a bain-marie, possibly there. So, as far as we know, this is the most complete Georgian kitchen anywhere, because its doors were shut in 1818 and nobody did anything to it. So I don't know anything else like this anywhere.
That's amazing. What a treat.
Yeah.
And that just would have been pots and stores
It's
and.
just more storage. And say the clock.
Oh, right, the clock.
Then they know what it is.
And they know when to hurry and breakfast time. And would breakfast have been done in here as well, or mostly ginger?
Breakfasts are quite simple, so a lot of it's done over in the house because they send little egg boilers over and so on, and they make, so it's 50-50.
So would there be a
Very
kitchen
simple.
in the house too at all?
No, there isn't a kitchen over
No?
there, but a lot of the breakfast stuff is small scale.
So more
it's
like a
toast.
pantry, butler's pantry kind of, to get it ready. Amazing.